Hello and welcome to the game Rad Mad Max. The story behind the game is that it's supposed to be a science. It's a scientist that has to go to different worlds and different planets to fix um, to recover certain items and to reassemble them into like a spaceship or something that saves humanity. Um, and with that, let's get started. Um, this first stage here is supposed to simulate like Earth, like Earth, Earth, and like the base planet where Mad Max is from. You can see it's almost like a park. There's a park bench. There's a fountain here, but you can see that that from the enemy that I just got hit from, that um, it's being affected by enemies and enemies and the enemies that that Max is supposed to that Rad Max is supposed to get rid of. It's kind of a simple level. It's not really it's not really too difficult. It's not really it's just at certain sections like the section here, it's just a little jumping. But compared to the following levels, it's not really all that difficult. It's more just get the player a feel for the game and see if they like it or not. I intend to have it a little bit longer from over here, but I decided that I'll just keep it a little bit more simple and just kind of go with it and go with a simpler approach. And there's flight for the second level. Um, you can tell here. Uh, um, uh, you can see here that this is supposed to represent like their world or like one of the worlds that they've come from or have been to. It's supposed to be a terrestrial planet, but here it's a little bit more difficult because there's more jumps and there's not as much as solid land here. Um, and you can see from there whatever that you can see from there. Instead of going back to the first level, I'm just gonna restart from here because I intended to have mile markers implemented, but I couldn't figure out how to implement them, and it just I decided to improve upon other factors. Um, as you can see there, it's like there's an enemy there. So just for the sake of video, for the sake of video, I'm just gonna move this forward. Um, because I got about to here, and it's supposed to be a little bit more difficult for the player. As you can see here, I fell just around in here. So that is because it's trying to improvise. I'm trying to visualize show visually that things aren't always solid and that things aren't always solid and just trying to keep the player on their toes. Um, um, and I also want to implement like falling platforms, like it crumble and shake, and the player would have to fall and have to jump onto another platform. But that too also proved a little difficult. But then I figured out that I could have um, I could turn on the physics the collision and the physics and have it just move down because of the gravity. But um, you will see that eventually in one of the future levels, and you can see there in the upper right hand corner there the one of the spots for the alternate paths, but that I intended to have but never really implemented. Um, Also, excuse me for my coughs. It's allergy season as I'm recording this, so um, I may cough a little bit, and so just excuse me for that. Um, but as I was saying, it's like it was supposed to have you'll eventually see moving platforms in this game too. More so in the third level here. In this level here, it's I actually started out a little bit further ahead, so I'll just go back here. This is what the player would normally start out. It's like you'd have like a shark there because it's supposed to be simulating an underwater level. So it has like an underwater level theme. You can see there's like a rock fall from like where the continental crust and um I'm just gonna move here to I'm just gonna move to level 3 just because there's no mile markers and safe spots. But and I'll start from here. It's like this is just the platforms here. Um, and yeah, see again. There's the player losing. But this is supposed to be like a further adding to difficulty there. And I also intended to have like other paths there that you saw from the moving platform slightly that that there's supposed to be like misleading paths that the player would take. Um, you can see over here that this is one of the paths that the player would take to confuse them to try and throw them off and make it a little less linear. Um, this is supposed to, and you can tell you can tell there's a moving platform and it starts to work on the timing, but and you can see there that there's the impact one of the moving platforms that the player would normally have interacted with and knocked down and would collapse. You can see there in the bottom of the screen there's a little dot there that acts as the physical barrier that the platform will fall and move onto. Um, it'll just mainly keep them on their toes. Um, but one of the difficult things I had, just for the sake of video, I'm just going to move this up again. Um, was that when I attempted to have like a lighter gravity because it's underwater, but I realized but I realized that if I change that, then the jump mass of the player would would be different and would thus be would be affected. So the player would jump higher than intended and would get to other players on accessible areas that the player's not supposed to get to, like a glitch or something. But I decided to keep that this to just change mass back and just have the player jump as normally. Um, and you can see here that this is again one of the more complicated. It's like see I would have had there a a spot for the player to like a safe spot there, but again I wasn't sure how to implement it. So here's like towards at the end of the level. It's like I would have had a sign here. It's just like take a leap of faith, and like the player would jump off and like land here, and like the game will be over. Um, but I still have to implement that sign. But other than that, though, it's like that's my game, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.